Oh, this is Hams from the patio, and we are adding mixed numbers. So don't worry about it. I'll show you how to do it. When we're adding mixed numbers like we have on the examples on this worksheet, we can simply add the whole parts and then add the fractions. And we can go ahead and do our simplification afterwards. And so let's look at this first example where we have 6 and 3/8 plus 5 and 3/8. Now, since our denominators are the same, we can just simply add the whole parts and add the numerators, and then we can simplify and be done. So let's do that here. I'll just go ahead and simply add the whole parts. The 6 plus the 5 is 11. And then now, since the denominators are the same, I can just go ahead and add the numerators. 3 plus 3 is 6. And we'll keep the denominator 8. Now, since we can reduce this part, the fraction part, 6 over 8, we'll go ahead and reduce that down to its lowest terms. And we can reduce that by 2. 2 goes into 6, or 2 divides into 6 3 times, and 2 divides into 8 4 times. And so therefore we have 11 and 3/4 for our final answer. Okay, and so that was a simple one again. Just simply add the whole parts and then add the numerators when the denominators are the same. Looking at the second question, however, and the few left on this sheet, the rest of the questions, the denominators are not the same. And so, therefore, we can solve them by finding the least common denominator, and then we'll add the whole parts and add the fractions, and then we can simplify afterwards. So let's look at an example. Let's go ahead and let's write this horizontally. This is how I like to do it. And if they teach you a different way, then you can just follow their way. But this is how I do it. And I'll go ahead and add the whole parts. The 3 plus the 5, it's 8. So we got that done. All right, and now let's look at the fractions. We'll find the least common denominator or multiple, or the smallest number that 7 and 2 will divide into evenly. And start with the larger number or denominator, and that's 7, because you'll get to the least common denominator faster by working the multiples of the largest denominator. And so we look at 7, and 2 does not divide into 7. And then we'll look at the next one. 2 times 7 is 14, and 2 does divide into 14. And so we have 14 and 14. And if you did not watch my other video, let's demonstrate how this would work. And if you did not watch my other video on mixed, adding and subtracting mixed numbers, I keep getting this stuff popping up. Adding and subtracting mixed numbers. And so let's show you how this process works. And so we'll take the 14 and divide it by 7. So I have 14 divided by 7, which is 2. And then I'll multiply that times the numerator here, 4. So 2 times 4, and we'll get our new numerator over our new denominator. So 4 times 2 is 8. So we'll write an 8 there when we get to it. So again, I'm touching some stuff here and causing all kind of problems. All right, and then we'll do the 14 divided by 2. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. And then we'll multiply that times the numerator here, which is 1. So 7 times 1 is equal to 7. And then we'll add the numerators. And so let's go ahead and write our new numerators in. That's 8 and 7. And so we'll add them up. 8 plus 7 is 15. So we have 15 over 14. All right, we can convert the fraction or improper fraction here to a mixed number by dividing 15 by 14, which is 1. And then we have 1 and 1/14. And then we'll add the whole parts together. We already had 8 right here. And so we'll add the whole parts together. 8 plus 1 is 9. And 9 and 1/14 will be our answer for that. Okay, so that's how we would do those. All right, for the rest of these, I'm not going to do the demonstration part like I did here. I'll just tell you what I'm doing and write it down, and then that way you can follow along. All right, so let's look at this one. We have 4 and 2/3 plus 5 and 4/5. All right, and so I'll write that down vertically. 4 and 2/3 and 5 and 4/5. Okay, 5 and 3 are not the same denominator, so we'll find the least common denominator for 5 and 3, which is 15. Just work the multiples of 5. And 15 divided by 5 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And then we have 15 divided by 3 is 5, and 5 times 2 is 10. And so we have 10 15ths plus 12 15ths. All right, now go ahead and add the whole parts. 4 plus 5 is 9. So I add the whole parts, and now I add my fractions here. 10 plus 12 is 22, and it's 22 over 15. Okay, and so I'll simplify this by converting it to a mixed number. 22 divided by 15 is 1, and that's 7 left over. So now I'll add the whole parts, the 9 plus the 1, and 9 plus 1 is 10, and our answer is 10 and 7/15. All right, and so let's move on to the next example here. We have 6 and 5 over 7. So I have 6, 5 over 7 plus 5 and 3 over 8. All right, so now we have 7 and 8, and the least common denominator of 7 and 8 is 56. I'm just trying to see what's wrong with my mouse pad here. All right, and then 56 divided by 8 is 7 times 3 is 21. And then 56 divided by 7 is 8 times 5 is 40. And so I'll add the whole parts. 6 plus 5 is 11. And then 40 plus 21 on our fractions. 40 plus 21 is 61. 56. So 61 over 56. We'll convert this to a mixed number. 61 divided by 56 one time. And that leaves 5 left over. And then we can add the whole parts. We'll bring the 11 over and add 11 plus 1 is 12. So we end up with 12 and 5 over 56. Okay, and then finally here, we have 7 and 2/9 plus 8 and 5/6. All right, and then we'll find the least common denominator of 9 and 6, which is 18. And so we have 18 and 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15. And then we have 18 divided by 9 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. And so I have 4 plus 15 is 19 over 18 here. And then we have 7 plus 8 is 15. Right, and then we can go ahead and convert this. 19 divided by 18 is 1 again. And so then that leaves 1 left over, 1 and 1/18. And we'll add the whole parts. So 15 plus 1 is 16. And then we have 16 and 1 over 18 for our final answer there. So hopefully this helps you out. That's just how I solve these. There may be other ways you can work them out by converting them to improper fractions, which will give, I think, gives you a little more work on some of these. But however they teach how to do it, this is how I do it. Hopefully that'll help you out if you need to work these out. Thank you for watching, and I wish you much success.